Hey everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So let's see what happened around here today. So, much to no one's surprise, Rafa continued working on some details on this beauty, which to those of you that may be new here, this is a 1500cc 36 horse, well, it should make a hell of a lot more than 36 horse, but 36 horse based motor for the 54 Barndoor that we're putting together here. So today it's time to figure out a lot of little details for this motor here. And so by that, what I mean is it's basically like a puzzle trying to put all this stuff together. So we got the linkage here, which is for this Monaro system, but you know, we had most of it, but some things we didn't have. We didn't really have a throttle arm that made any sense for this system. And so Rafa went to work and he went to our favorite local hardware store, McFadden Dale, and picked up some things, and he scavenged some parts off. I think this part was actually off a fuel reserve lever, and started welding, cutting, grinding, etc. And so let's see what he did here. So basically what you have is this piece here, which is welded to a little collar that you see here with a set screw or two on it that can lock onto this shaft, which in turn turns the carburetors. So these carburetors don't actually have any type of like helical return spring on them. It's purely based on the linkage. It seems to be on this model. I called up the European guys that built these, and they confirmed that yeah, these don't seem to have any return spring on them per se. So pretty much killed two birds with one stone here, is making the lever, which you know more or less lines up with the throttle tube here, which we had to lower some, but not a big deal. We'll plug this hole. And so a throttle cable will come through here and attach on here with a barrel nut. And then the return spring runs down here to a little bracket that Rafa made that mounts up underneath here. I think it actually mounts right onto the condenser mount, so pretty cool. I kind of using the condenser mount and then mounting another little tab essentially to it for the return spring. So there you go, super clean, and it feels great. It snaps back super positively, and it's not too stiff that the throttle pedal on this car is going to have like a ridiculously stiff throttle pedal or anything like that. It actually feels really good. Better than a lot of dual carburetor setups that I've had my hands on over the years. So yeah, great job to Rafa as always, fabricating up stuff. Dude is super creative and talented, and yeah, so nailed that down. The other thing he was looking for at McFadden Dale was various fittings and so on to plumb this thing in. We don't have the plumbing that came with it. This new old stock one, we basically had the can itself and then this fitting here, which by the way is a restrictor, if you can see that small hole in here, because this thing, again, it's not made like a full flow oil filter where like 100% of the oil coming out of the pump runs to it and then back to the engine. This is basically made to like siphon off a little bit of the oil from the main oil galley, filter it, and then it pretty much just dumps it back into the case. So again, those of you that may be new here, we are going to run a regular full flow oiling oil filter off to the side here. That'll of course come off the pump, go to the filter, which again will be mounted up underneath the car over here somewhere, and then return to the case right here. And then this one will siphon off from right here. So we've got to make some fittings here or modify some fittings. What'll siphon off here, which is basically like right after it goes past the fuel pressure switch and into here. And then on a 36 horsepower, you return the oil to the case through essentially this stud here. So you need a stud here that's hollow and has a fitting of some sort on it. So I think the way we're actually going to plumb this thing in, instead of use the sort of typical hoses that look I can get this off here, something like this. Normally how that would be, we plumbed in. We're going to use hard copper lines and have them all, you know, bent nicely and coming from here into the inlet and then out to the outlet and then back to the case. So yeah, we're gonna plumb this thing up super bitchin', not just like the kit that everyone can buy and bolt on. We're gonna kind of do it our own way, and it's gonna look super clean, and it'll kind of be a nice complement to the fuel lines that will feed these carburetors. So with that one, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy the Wolfsburg West Okrasa kit fuel line, which is basically a line that would come out of the fuel pump and then go to a T and then off to the two carburetors. So we're going to kind of use that as the basis and then change the links a little bit and the fittings, you know, maybe on some of the ends. Anyway, so on and so forth. So yeah, we'll have that copper line coming out and going to the carburetors, and then this thing will have a couple copper lines routed coming and going from it. So yeah, it should all look very kind of cohesive when it's done. But yeah, other than a very relatively long trip to the hardware store for Rafa to kind of dig around and try and find the right fittings and stuff like that, pretty much fabricated this up, and took a lot of time kind of sitting and staring at it and thinking about it and trying things out. And we were both kind of talking about the angle this thing should be at and so on and so forth. So yeah, super happy with the result though. I mean, this thing is butter. So that was pretty much Rafa's day. So let's talk about Mr. Jacob for a minute. Not too much to do on this one, which is the 1385cc 40 horse for the Mouse Gray bus, because we're waiting on a few parts that we need to get, and then I still need to take a few things to zinc plating. But he did pull off the voltage regulator cover, which was just like regular, I don't know, what do you call it, like zinc colored or something, which is incorrect for a 6-volt car. So he pulled that off, wire brushed it, cleaned it up, and painted it proper gloss black. We still need to put a dab of red paint here as like the little cherry on top, so to speak. So he did that, and then yeah, I kind of created a shopping list for this motor. There's some things we need, like the little adapters or whatever you want to call them that go into here that go to the heater hoses, and some other odds and ends like that. Some hard fuel lines to and from the pump, the hard vacuum line that goes from here to the carburetor. So yeah, a handful of things like that we need. I think I'm actually going to run out to Wolfsburg West in the morning and do a will call pickup for stuff we need for this motor, and the fuel lines and stuff that we need for this one. And then this one, I need to pick up a floor because this has got to be replaced. Look at that. Built-in air conditioning, but it's not really supposed to be like that. So we got to fix that. So Octavio is actually going to help me out. He's really good and enjoys doing metal work. So I'm like, you know what, dude, knock yourself out. So I'm going to have him replace this section of floor. This side seems okay, actually. So we're going to take a look at it, but I think it's really just this floor that seems to have had water sitting in it or something, and it's pretty gone. But yeah, and then we'll clean them out, and I don't know, maybe I'll undercoat them both, or we'll do something on them. But ultimately, yeah, we can't send a car on its out, you know, to live its life with that going on. It's dangerous, actually. Somebody's foot could go right through there. So yeah, I got to pick up that pan half tomorrow, and what else? Jacob did a few other little minor things today. He took the new spark plug wire set and installed them on here. Installed the new air cleaners, looking much better than the crappy ones that were on there. And then what I did today was pretty much, you know, I did the cam break in on this one yesterday. So today went ahead and did the oil change. Checked all the valves. They were all pretty spot on. I might have adjusted a couple valves by like maybe a thousandths or so that were a little loose or a little tight, but that's pretty normal when you break a motor in and things kind of settle, that the valves may change a little bit, but nothing major at all. Like I said, I didn't probably adjust any valve more than like a thousandth of an inch. So very, very good actually. So did that, and like I said, changed oil, put some new valve cover gaskets on it, and took the fuel pressure gauge setup out of there. So see, no fuel filter in there, just like I said. So yeah, this one pretty much I just need to fire it up, make sure it's running okay, and then it's basically done, I would say. We went ahead and put his deck lid back on, and this spring on this side here, excuse me, not spring, the mount seems to have a broken weld on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but yeah, there seems to be a broken weld in here, but we were able to get his deck lid lined up okay. It's not great with that weld being broken in there, but it's good enough where you know, the lid at least latches and closes now, and it's all on there. So we got to leave some things for James to do here, so he can fix that little weld there on the body and line his deck lid up to his heart's content. But it fits a lot better. When this came in with that broken weld and stuff there was like, I don't know, it might have been like a 3/4 of an inch or more gap on the deck lid on one side, and then on the other side was like super tight. So this is a pretty vast improvement over how it came in. So we did have to like bend this hinge mount some and stuff like that. But yeah, this one's pretty much wrapped up, other than, like I said, just starting it, making sure it's running okay after the break-in. And I think he said he's gonna come get it Monday is his I think his plan so far. So yeah, super cool looking car. I know a lot of you guys like this car. It's got a great stance, great set of wheels. The patina is cool. Even like mix of patina and primer, it just works on this car. This thing looks killer. Really dig the way it looks, especially with the original company logo or graphics and stuff on it. So yeah, other than that, on this one, our interior guy, he's working on the back seat for it now, and then as soon as this floor is done, he will start creating the carpet kit. I think all the dash stuff is done. You can see a lot of those pieces here, like this, I don't know, hood or whatever you want to call it, that goes there. Pretty much all those pieces are ready, the door panels and so on. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks as always for all your comments, likes, all that good stuff. So we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.